in touch with her back in the late 90s, and then all of a sudden they had put her on like 12 different kinds of medication, and we've never heard from her since.
Right, they were just trying to shut her up.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I know the security guard that had come out from Dulce had posted information and then just disappeared. But I have his information on my website, the Watcher Files, and his experiences with the Dulce base. And I recently just posted a bunch of pictures. I don't know how legitimate they are because they go on and talk about Dulce base level 13, and I'm not aware of Dulce having 13 levels. And so, most of that is suspect. But for most people, it'll give you some kind of an idea of what might be going on down there. We don't know for sure exactly, how these shuttle systems look. We know they have them. I know several months ago I posted an entrance to the underground shuttle system right in Times Square in New York that a listener had sent to me. And so, I'm not telling people, this is something we want to do is go into these underground bases, but what we need to do is have the public become more aware of what's going on in them so that hopefully something can be done. If any one person tried to access these bases, they'd probably be killed. He'd immediately probably run into these Wake and Hunt forces. And there's also secret Black Op Air Force bases that serve as security for these types of bases.
Hey, Sherry?
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep talking, please. I have to go put a phone up against another computer. My friend up in Wisconsin would like to hear us talking.
Okay.
So whatever you want to talk about.
Okay. I guess talking is just one of the things I can do very well. The whole New World Order facade that's going on, folks, is a conspiracy that's been going on for 2,000 years now, ever since the Lord came and lived on earth for 30 years, his ministry, and he rose again. It's been Satan's plan to conquer and control the world, and he's prophesied a certain amount of time of 3.5 years, that's 42 months, where he will be allowed to rule the world. And so how he does this is through his children, who are half alien, half human hybrids, such as the Illuminati family. You've got the Bushes, you've got the Clintons, everybody who's anybody in the elite circles of today who are Satan worshipers. They worship Satan in their secret societies. And these are all the people that are working together to bring about a new world order, which is aliens ruling the earth through Satan. That's the new world order they speak of. They perfectly plan on killing 5.5 billion people here on earth to get rid of the population here on earth so they can take over the planet for themselves. And so that's what their agenda is, and every time you hear about our politicians talking about a new world order, that's exactly what they mean. To them it's all cryptic sentences and dark sentences, and only they know the real meanings of everything they're saying. But when you do research and you start digging out exactly what they're meaning by what they say, you start unraveling just one huge conspiracy against mankind.
Yeah, I'm back now. What were you talking about, Sherry?
I was just giving your readers a brief rundown on exactly what the New World Order is. Just a vast conspiracy run by the human pawns on Earth to bring about Lucifer to power. Satan wants to rule the world, and he wants to get rid of 5.5 billion inhabitants on Earth so he can take over the planet for himself and his fallen angel forces, and we call them aliens. It's one of the biggest lies today is that these aliens are extraterrestrial beings when they come from our own solar system, and many of them come from within inside of our own hollow planet.
You think our leaders, like President Bush, are reptilians where they can shapeshift into a reptilian?
Oh, yeah. Was it Fritz Springmeier? It was Fritz Springmeier. The 13 Illuminati families. He wrote a book on it. And he details how these families will only interbreed amongst each other because they try to preserve their bloodline, which is half alien, half human. They're hybrid bloodlines. And I have a website, serpentseedline.com, that kind of details this, and many articles on thewatcherfiles.com. And these families are all generational Satanists, and they protect their bloodline from becoming pure human. That gives them the ability to be able to shapeshift into reptilian beings. And David Icke also talks about this on his website.
Are you your own webmaster, Sherry?
Yep, I do everything myself. I'm a one-man show.
Wow. I'm just starting to learn gradually how to be my own webmaster, but it sure is a lot to learn.
I started back in, I think, 1992, 1993, and I learned how to just do HTML coding myself.
That's what I'm trying to learn right now.
Yeah, that's what I learned. I just taught myself how to do it, and then I got Front Page from Microsoft and started messing around with that. And so that's what I use. I'm pretty primitive on all my websites. I just stick with what I can do with Front Page.
Oh yeah, I use Front Page. I'm using one called NVU.
Oh, no, I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
But you know what? With webmasters, I mean, you can buy. Most people say, "How can you afford? You must have a lot of donations coming in and stuff." I don't. And the thing is, as a web host, as a webmaster, you can buy you buy a certain amount of bandwidth and megabyte space for your website, and you can just disperse them among as many websites as you want. You can literally just become your own reseller of being a web host. And instead of just becoming a reseller, just distributing your own bandwidth to your own websites. That's how I can have about 22 websites.
So for under $30 a month, you can have 20 websites then, huh?
Well, I don't pay 30. I pay about 200. You find that the archives and things like that will really start soaking your bandwidth, and you have to keep adding on more. And as you add on more, you have to pay a lot more.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, that's what I started out with. I mean, I started out with maybe just, the watcherfiles.com, I think, was, and lastdaysprophecies.com were the first two websites I started out with.
Uh-huh.
But over the years, as I would get more harassed and targeted and just bothered all the time, I would just get mad and put up a website that took them all off. And it's like, leave me alone, or I'm putting up another website.
Oh, yeah?
So I would just put up a website, because they can't leave you alone for very long.
Before I brought you on tonight, I was reading an article here about the ground wave emergency network towers, 300 towers spread across the U.S., and it's now called the SCAMP system. Are you familiar with that?
No, I haven't. I've been dealing with towers the last several years. We found a way to combat their mind control towers. But anything more, I mean, we don't need any more towers.
This probably works in conjunction with those towers.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Anything they say is going to be a lie.
Any what?
Anything they say is going to be a lie.
Oh, of course.
They tell you've got cell phone and radio towers, and they're emitting white lights. And those are the mind control towers I've been warning about. When you go by towers and you see the white flashing lights, those are not radio towers, those are mind control towers.
What are your thoughts on the Virginia Tech school shooting assassin? You think he was under mind control when that happened?
Oh, yeah, I said when that came out that if I looked in the Bible codes, I would probably find the same thing with him that I found with the D.C. sniper, and that he was a chip implant pawn for the CIA.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do or not. I mean, if they, they cremate his body or not. I don't even know if that's scheduled to happen.
Well, from what I've seen, they've got two different pictures of the same person, and they're not even the same person. I don't believe it's his real name. I don't believe the real person with the real name is the one responsible for doing the shooting. And so it's just kind of a mess.
Yeah, you're right. I did look at them pictures. They are not the same people. And I was also listening to the Power Hour radio show, and they also brought that up, too.
Yeah, and the man himself, the one whose name, Cho Sung-Wee, I don't think he's the responsible shooter. I think it's whatever one else they're hiding. I'm sure he was just a pawn in the whole thing.
Well, did you see in Kathy O'Brien's book that was written over 3 years ago about this super secret DARPA lab in a mountain in Blacksburg?
I was surprised. I mean, I'm not real surprised to have a lab, because I know they have Mount Weather in Virginia. I was not aware of Blacksburg. I've driven through there before myself. I used to go to college at Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia. And so I would drive through Blacksburg on my way home, throughout the year, vacations and stuff. I didn't even know they had a base there, but it doesn't surprise me. What does surprise me is they would choose to do something that stupid, that close to one of their bases, to get fingered like that. They had to have been desperate. They had to have been hiding something that was coming out in the media or something. That's what I think. They had to hurry up and shift the focus and attention away from something else that they were protecting.
So what do you think the agenda is of the New World Order with this school tech shooting incident?
Well, they want gun control. The last thing on their agenda right now is gun control. And as soon as we give up our guns, that's it. Because no one can protect themselves.
Yeah, I believe
and
you're
with
right
martial
on
law
that.
coming, and martial law coming, and United Nations forces that are going to be here. They've been stockpiling United Nations weapons and here for years, since the 1990s. We've had German and Chinese and Russian weapons coming in. And all they have to do is bring the troops over. Now they have their vehicles here, they have their weapons here, they're all ready